This is actually part 2. So you should check out part 1 before you hear this. This is Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. Part 1 has hidden emotions in the title. I think it's hidden emotions may be hazardous. Something like that. But this is part 2. And we were picking up with Gemini in the 3rd house. I meant to say Gemini in the 4th house. Because we just did Gemini in the 3rd house. That's where we stopped at. We stopped at, who was in the 3rd house? Taurus. We stopped at Taurus in the 3rd house. And now we're at Gemini in the 4th house. Now, they say Gemini, and it's funny because a lot of stuff they're saying is the same thing I'm describing with like neighbors and that lady that did what she did with the carts. Because they said this type of person with Gemini in the 4th house, they like to keep things going. So what they do, if they can't keep themselves occupied, they'll create situations. Talking about they create situations to learn and gather knowledge, but other people may call that causing trouble. Well, if you're causing trouble, it is called causing trouble, because there's a difference between creating situations to learn and gather knowledge and causing troubles. Let me give you a perfect example, one that most of you females are known for. Now, things have changed a lot because we're more into technology and stuff. But back in the day, a man might have his y'all all watch Bernie Mac. And one thing about the Bernie Mac show, one thing he told them, y'all better not touch my records. Y'all better not touch my music collection and blah blah blah. That was sacred to Bernie. Now this is where the female come in. Let's just say she's home all day and he's going to a job. The guy will come in and his wife or a girl or whatever will say, his woman or whatever will say, I cleaned up today. So he's thinking to himself, good. And he's thinking, he doesn't say it to her, but he's thinking, good, you home all day, you should clean up. It's about time. So he's wondering if she cooked anything, and maybe she did or maybe she didn't. And as he's walking through, he's looking around, noticing, what did she clean? She told me she cleaned today. What did she clean? So he doesn't figure it out until maybe the weekend comes. And he goes over to his beloved record collection that he had alphabetically ordered or by the groups or by the years or whatever. And he realizes she's fucked everything up. So now he's pissed off. He's like, baby, why did you move my albums around and stuff? And she says, oh, I told you I cleaned. So her telling him she cleaned, translation is, I fucked your shit up. And men know I'm not lying. So that's causing trouble, ladies. That's not gathering information. That's causing trouble. That's putting your hands on something you should have kept your darn hands off of. Maybe you should have cooked him a meal. Or maybe you should have really cleaned up. But messing with his prized possession because you got some vanity going on inside of you or some jealousy going on inside of you because of the attention he's showing. to his records. You got to mess with it. So that's the crazy things we do here in third dimension. So just me telling you, Gemini in the fourth house could also mean something was short, like it wasn't the full family. Something with it was short, because that's what Gemini does, like short distances, short travel, like not so deep conversation. That's all Gemini energy. But it can also be something that has to do with communication or publishing in the fourth house. But whatever it is, you see your Chiron asteroid is retrograde, which means there's a wound that hasn't healed. And because of the number 14, I'm saying that is the Temperance card or Sagittarius energy. Now they're bringing out a point about Gemini. See, Gemini does not like to go deep. So Gemini is really doing his own thing. Gemini in the third house, or the ruler of the third house, Gemini, they tend to do their own thing. So unless they really like, if they were interested in you for a relationship, then they would want to know more information. But it's not because they care; it's because they just want to make sure you're not going to be a problem. So when a Gemini meets somebody, they might go, "Yeah, how are you? What happened with your last relationship? Or what was your longest relationship?" So Gemini is asking these type of questions because Gemini is trying to determine if you're even worth. Because Gemini don't like to go deep and all that. Gemini's not trying to waste no time. I don't want to. I don't even want to go out with you if it ain't gonna be nothing. That's a Gemini. So if something happened to somebody's family member, he might go, "Oh, how is so and so doing?" And he's hoping that you say, "Oh, he's doing better," or he's hoping that you say, "Oh, he's doing fine," because Gemini don't want to hear the whole, "Oh, he's not doing too good. They just moved him in the ICU," and he don't want to hear all that. Gemini don't want to hear all that. So they say they put Gemini in the fourth house so that he'll care more about feelings, because the fourth house is ruled by Cancer, and if everybody's listening to part one, we were showing how this person in this life is really being trained up so that they'll really be like a sort of like emotional support to others. So that's what Gemini does. Gemini makes you. Gemini in the fourth house takes you into that watery Cancer, because Cancer rules the house. And then again, wherever Cancer is, fourth house, the moon is going to be there too, because the moon rules Gemini. The moon rules Cancer. Now, when you're going to talk about karmic, the karmic meaning of Gemini in the fourth house. So Gemini could be being told to be more nurturing, like a mother, more caring. But to me, this is still a family house, so it's also making that. The implication is, to me, it's just short. It's not, and see, it's also Gemini as the siblings, and they already said this person may have sat there and watched the mother or the parent show more concern for the siblings, which is the brother or sister or whoever, than them. So that's the stuff I'm getting. It was just short. It wasn't. It wasn't like, oh, me and my mother. She was a major support for me. Oh, me and my mother have great memories. I have great memories of my mother when we were young, and it may not be, because you may be saying, damn, I remember going out with my mother and she kept her daughters with her, and I was just there, and she would spend all this money on them and wouldn't buy me shit. Not even a little comic book. And back then, comic books was only like 15 cents or 25 cents. She wouldn't even spend it. And I would cry so much that other people would walk up and buy it, but she wouldn't buy it. So that's what you're looking at when you're looking at like Gemini in the fourth. That's short. Because you can't get past it. That fourth house really is primarily about the mother. The moon, Cancer, the nurturer, all that's the mother. So again, we've already said that this person may already feel that way, and that's why I try to tell you. One thing that helped me get as far as I got, I put the blame where it belongs. See, I don't go, why my daddy beat me, why was my mother so. I don't. I say them people was crazy. And I got a cousin that does the same thing. One of my cousins, and it was funny when she said that. I just started busting out laughing because my father's favorite sister. My father had like 4 sisters or something, but his favorite sister was his baby. My father was the firstborn son. Well, he was the firstborn either way. He was the firstborn everything. But his favorite sister was the youngest, my aunt. Of course, they're all older than me. So now, her children, her firstborn daughter, we're the same age. So me and her were real close at one time. That's my cousin. But then there's a second daughter, a little bit younger. Now, that daughter is almost the same age as my younger sister. And me and her got to know each other better because she used to live in New Jersey for a while because she was married to a guy from New Jersey. So I got to see her more. The rest of my family been all over the U.S. Hey, but my the second daughter, the younger one, she's more like my aunt because my aunt has a way of saying stuff. She'll tell her like it is. So I remember one time talking to my cousin, and she basically said that. She said everybody crazy. All these crazy ass people. She basically said all these crazy ass people. So you do better telling the truth than sitting there going, oh, why did my father beat me? Why would my father beat me? Oh, why my mama? Because that's the answer. They're crazy. Like, and plus, any grown adult that beat up little, is something wrong with them. I mean, it would have to be a reason, to give, and that should be a spanking, not beat them up, brutally or whatever. So you're on a crazy planet with crazy people and crazy things happen, but you make the mistake if you continually let that push you. Because, like I said, there are tons of ways to get help if we want it. But I just gave you examples in part 1 of people that won't get the help, but they want the whole world to stop. Oh, I got drunk and I drove my car into a building and now I might be going to jail for the next 7 to 10 years. Or everybody should come to the court case. Or everybody should come. Man, I got shit to do. You the fool. You the fool that decided to do some crazy stuff. Why I gotta stop my life? Because you wanted to be a fool. It ain't like we 17. Most of us haven't seen 17 in decades. So you decide to make some crazy talk, or you got a problem with whatever, psychological instability, but you don't want to get no help. So the whole family got to stop because you don't want to get no help, and then you back in the crazy house for a second time. But you could have got help and you could have got it to worked out. You could have seen somebody more regularly so that you won't end up back in the crazy house. So these are people that just don't care. Or like I said, in one case, a person never got any help, and then when the one person he really needed emotionally died, he just tapped out. But that's what I'm saying. When people make decisions like that, I know it's sad and everything, but I can't be everywhere. And my hands are already tied because I'm dealing with lazy ass people that don't do shit. And I always get stuck doing it. And I refuse, like, when I'm a fighter, I refuse to give up my life to this low energy bull. So you have to have some type of, you have to want to get healing. You have to want it more than anybody, because if you don't want it, you're not going to do it. You have to want to get healing, and you also got to be strong enough to fight all these negative energies that are around you. And we discussed a lot of that in part one. Title of part one was Hidden Emotions May Cause Hazard, or something like that. I forgot what I said. Alright, so that's your Gemini. And remember, Gemini is about the mother, so that is the implication. It just wasn't a lot there, but believe me, in the numerology, or even as Sagittarius, it might be there too. Oh, and you even got Pallas at 28 degrees. Now, Pallas is a soul. Like, people tell you that Pallas is not a soulmate asteroid. It is. It's usually the more mature one. But even at 28 degrees, that means an imbalance. And remember, Gemini is the twins, which is trying to represent balance, but it's an imbalance. So I can't guarantee they'll have it. But let's try if we can see what they say about Pallas and Gemini. All right, let's try this one. I was laughing because this website has a picture of this female, but it's just a picture. But the picture, the photography, the equipment was so powerful that it almost looks like a video. It looks like high definition, but it's just a picture. This is called heretical.oracles.com, Pallas and Gemini. All right, this guy is saying something. I gotta take this up out of here because it's hard to read it. So what I do, I just get it, copy it, put it on a word pad and blow it up so it's easier to read. Pallas is the goddess of wisdom, battle strategy, all crafts. And he's saying that Pallas and Gemini is trying to save your life. So she said Pallas is trying to do the same thing I'm trying to tell you. He said when you see Pallas and Gemini, remember he doesn't know anything else. All he knows is Pallas and Gemini. But he's saying the same thing I said. This is a person that's trying to save everybody around them, but they're not saving themselves. Now that's saying Pallas and Gemini, plus remember 28 is right over the top. Highly unbalanced. That 28 degrees. That's what that means. Now they said Pallas and Gemini is a person that everything's going wrong around them, and they're not able to do anything about it. You are compelled to help, but there is no place for you. You are not invited for the grief party, and it's hurting you because you want to be there, you want to be in, but you're not in. But see, you gotta remember what we talked about, though. You see what I'm trying to tell you? See, this is the fourth house. This is all about mother, and they already implied that there would be more love for a sibling. At least that's how you felt. And this is what this is saying. Like you're sitting there watching it, and you want to be in that, but you're not allowed. Like he said, you're not invited in. It makes perfect sense. And that's why I said people go. Like I said, I really should be out there. Like I'm glad God had a reason for me or whatever, because I really would have been out there. Because I mean, my mom, like when I was young, my mom did a lot of dirty shit. Like I'm not saying everything was dirty, because I would be lying. I still was in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? You can't be that man. Just like Michael Jackson, he could complain all he wants, but if it wasn't for Joe Jackson, we would have never had Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson was a musical genius, as well as one of the greatest dancers of all time. So even though it was rough coming up, and his father was really, really demanding or whatever, and definitely messed his head up, mind fuck. But he, we wouldn't have had Michael if it wasn't for that. And a lot of the most creative people that we've had have been through some of the most horrible stuff on this planet. Not saying it's right or wrong, but unfortunately on this planet, you gotta. That's why I said, once you realize it, it's kind of like you might be really idealistic. Like you think you're gonna change the world and you're gonna come up in here and it's gonna be so beautiful and you're gonna do everything right and everything's gonna happen and you feel that way until you start getting smacked in the face, betrayed, somebody you fall in love, they hurt you and all. Now you can either let that eat you up to the point you're walking dead or you're trying to kill yourself, or you can finally realize that's just the freaking way it is on this freaking piece of shit planet. It's just the way it is. It doesn't make you negative because you tell the truth. It actually is a positive. Because now when you move forward, you'll be a little bit more aware. So then when you meet somebody, you won't rush into it and you won't give this person all this emotional power over you. Or financial. We'll share our money together. No, don't share your money. What if the shit goes wrong? Don't share your money. Have your own account. If you want to open up an account with that person, put a little bit of your money with that, but no, don't ever give anybody other than yourself full access to your money. That's a quick way to be broke for the rest of your life. Your savings will be destroyed. That's like these females that have a gambling boyfriend or husband or something like that. It's quite obviously he don't need to have no money in his hand. Or he's going to take it and waste it. Talking crazy. I just need one more try. I'm going to get it this time. Walk in with like 40,000 and walk out with like 2 cents in his pocket. If I could just get just 98 more cents, I could gamble $1 and get it back. Go back in some bum. Some bum gives him 98 cents. That's how low he is. He goes back in with the $1, tries to gamble that, and then he walks out with nothing. So yeah, that's what Pallas and Gemini means. This is the person that's seeing all this stuff going on around them and wishing they were a part of it, but they're not really invited. That's why I say I got relatives. Like I got a guy. He meant well. I'll give him credit that he meant well. But as much as he's aware of the situation, he's always gonna side with the side that did evil. And with me, I don't play that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I saw that lady with the cart that I talked about in part 1, I knew why she was there. So nobody was gonna tell me, "Oh man, she's just getting the cart," or "You're just overreacting." Okay, well if she was just getting the cart, how come the other cart ended up in the street in the most dangerous part where I already told you I almost got hit in that same spot a little less than a year ago. Kind of convenient, right? But they're not going to believe it anyway. They're going to think, you're just overly emotional. So they're not going to believe, but you got to understand, and that's why I'm still alive, because I know how to call a snake, a wicked person, a crazy person. That's how you keep your sanity. Otherwise, you'll be crazy. Why this? Why that? Why that? Why don't people believe me? And all this other crazy stuff. You will get mind fucked on this planet if you don't take control of your mind. Even if you were a Christian, if you're in a really good Christian church that really knows the teachings, they'll tell you it's a battle for your mind. If you ever listen, you'll hear a lot of Christian ministries tell you that. Not the weak ones that don't know what's going on, but there's the ones that know. The ones with power will tell you quick, it's a battle for your mind. And you're actually battling spirits for your mind. Because if they can get your mind, they got you. If you're all oppressed and carrying on, that's a gateway for evil spirits. Plus, they can get you. Oh, just overdrink. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares about me. Just overdrink, like my cousin did. Now he's a vegetable now. And it took less than a year for that to happen. And before that, my cousin was one of the most strongest members of his family. Now he's a vegetable. So this is real. That's why I'm not out here playing. I don't care about bubblegum astrology. Bubblegum astrology is going to F you up one way or another, send you to hell. You don't have to believe it's still going to happen. If there was a sniper coming to kill you, you could go, I don't believe that. I don't believe in that. Oh, that's just mythology. The Greeks made that up. But when that bullet hit through your chest, you'll know it was pretty real. All right. So that's why I was saying about this other person. So they meant well, but you can't side with evil and think me and you going to be cool. It's not going to happen. Because I'm never going to believe that garbage you talk. I know that the energy around these people I'm talking about, I've seen it my whole freaking life and still see it to this day. Some of these people are old as I don't know what, still got that evil on them. So there's certain things I will do and certain things I won't do. Because I know the outcome would be me being dead. And I've seen people go to early graves because of these people. You got to remember, I've been there the whole time. So ain't nobody going to tell me, oh, it's just in your head or you need to be more, whatever. No. I need to be alive. I'm not giving up my right to die. And that's why I'm still alive, despite whatever I've been through. Because I understand where I'm at. And everything you're reading, the only difference is I'm just showing you with real life examples. But they're telling you the same thing. All these experts are saying the same thing I've been saying about this chart since I started. But it's just that it's human nature to hear the voice, to hear the emotion, and don't like it. But if I sat here and read, then they'd be going, hey, that's good information. Like, as long as you don't make an application to it, everybody's happy. The moment you make an application, people start getting scared or feeling uncomfortable. And now they want to run. But you can't run from this because this shit is in the life that you're in. And that's why I said, I got so many people that thought they could run from it. And now you can't run. What are you going to do when a person you're trusting in dies? Now you're by yourself. Are you going to be man enough, woman enough to keep going? Or are you going to tap out? Oh, I just want to drink. Oh, I just need to sniff a line of cocaine. If I just had some coke, that's going to make my life better. So now they say if you got Palace, remember we said Gemini overthinks and overthinks? Or they said either Taurus. Well, Gemini is mental. See, because her Taurus is in the third house. That's ruled by Gemini. So this is a person that's really internal and everything is over. So she's got to be careful because that's how you become emotionally unstable, or that's how you do fall into some type of addictive behavior, which is destructive. Anything addictive is destructive. Same thing. So they say Palace will have you thinking this over and over again, but the plan's not going to work. Like I said, but if you're saying, oh, why my mama didn't, or why my daddy didn't, the answer is simple. We were on a crazy planet. People are crazy. And unfortunately, that's the answer. They're crazy. Because why bring a child into the world if you're going to say, oh, well, I love this child better? Oh, yeah, you can go out with us, but I'm not buying you anything. Anything. Now, you're sitting there watching this lady spend hundreds of dollars on clothes and shoes. You know how females do. And you ask for like a little comic book. No. It's only 15 cents. No. I remember one time we was in New York. And you know how deadly New York is? I mean, the first time I was in New York, you got to be real careful. I mean, I'm going way back. I'm sure it's still like that, though. But if you step your foot off that curb, you could die. Like cars are coming so fast that if you step that foot off that curb, you could be dead the moment before your foot hits the freaking street. You're fucking dead. I said, man, why are we here? This place is crazy. And I remember looking at the Empire State Building because they were shopping. And I remember saying, I want to go to the Empire State Building. You know what this crazy lady says to me? Go. I'm just a little ass kid. You're going to let a little ass kid walk in New York City by himself to the Empire State Building? She was like, go. Like, what the fuck? I like, nah, that was one time. Because when we used to go to other places, like the auction was real big. I used to walk around the auction all by myself because she wasn't buying me shit. That's why when the rapper Notorious B.I.G. came out, and he was like, Ma Dukes ain't buying me shit. I said, damn, we must got the same mother. But it is what it is. You get through it. I tell you, it definitely made me stronger, though. And it's not all bad. That's why I said I don't want to make it seem like it's all bad. But it was horrible to see that. It's like, wow, you can't spend 15 cents on me, but you got all this for them. And I'm just sitting there. And sometimes I would just cry, and other people would come up and buy it for me and just give it to me and shit. Because they're like, oh, poor, why won't you buy something for your own? Is this your stepson or is it your real son? They're just looking at her like, and she didn't care. She could give a freak less. Like, nope. All right, now I'm just still reading the rest of this. So they say if you feel left out of this loop that's in the fourth house, and this is the family loop, it's going to cause emotional, intense energy, internal, and it's tearing you up one way or another. And this is what they say. You thought I was getting emotional. Listen to what they said. They said you have to. She said you have to witness all of this, and it's very hard to do so. She said, I know. She said, God, I know. So she's been through it too. So she said, but it's more important that you get yourself under control. So now she's talking to the so-called. Now y'all got to hear this, because if you listen to Veronica, that I keep telling y'all to listen to from part 1, because this woman, I think this is the woman who wrote this, Palace and Gemini. She said, all you self-proclaimed light workers out there, listen up and listen good. Haha, sounds a lot like me. The dark workers are right. You cannot save anyone without being in a position to help yourself first. Get your mind and your emotions under control. The mind makes a fantastic servant, but a terrible master. She said, it's time that you make your mind your bitch. Oh, I like this person. I like when the real people get a chance to talk. People like me. I hate the fakies, but the people want the fakies. They always do. They'll support the fakies and let guys like me die just like they did the Messiah on the cross. Same thing. Anybody that really comes with the real shit, they'll let that person die. It's a self-destructive thing they got inside of themselves, and very few of them realize it. And so most of them, when they do realize it, it's too late. Now this person calls himself Helios. It's called Pallas Athene in Gemini. The right words. And this is called hereticaoracles.com. So I just gave you the reference. So she said you have to learn how to detach yourself from it. Like I said, I just told you, the first thing you got to realize, they're crazy. Anybody that would do anything like that are crazy. But like I said, these people, they don't know they're being used. They're being used by evil spirits. Like you just have to understand who could brutally beat the crap out of their own son for no reason whatsoever. Because it's not like I was of an age that I did anything wrong. I was still like a little ass kid, like unbelievably young. So it's horrible to come into a planet like this. But that's why I said, as soon as I got here, I knew, whoa, what the hell is this? Look how these people treat their own families. What the hell? But I was determined. Even when I was little, y'all not gonna stop me from my mission. It's not happening. And that's why I be laughing. But I've been there. I've been through a lot of stuff. I've been shot at, bullets flying, and I'm laughing and shit. Like, you're not killing me. How dare you? How dare you shoot at me? So the point being made, you got to realize if a parent is acting that way to their own kids, there's something wrong with the parent, not the kid. Even if you had a kid that was a little bit troublesome, you brought the kid into the world. You understand? So you still have some type of responsibility as far as that goes. So you shouldn't be walking around with guilt trips. And even then, that's what makes Christianity so beautiful. Because they tell you all you got to do is repent and then give it to God instead of carrying it. Because the moment you start to carry that stuff, that's the first step to self-destruction and death. Like I said, my cousin went through a lot of people. A lot of people in his family were murdered. They died in car accidents, horrible, horrible ways, and that is going to hurt you. But instead of walking around talking about I'm strong, you should have went and got some help. Because then you got a woman, and it was beautiful that the universe blessed you with such a wonderful woman. But it's also kind of unfair to her and yourself because you're tapping into her love. It's like something is wrong that you're just covering over and you're not dealing with it. Because when that person goes and they're gone, all that stuff is going to come back. And not only are you going to remember every family member that got murdered or died in a car accident, you're going to remember the one your whoever, the one you really loved or you had a personal love relationship is now gone. And that shit is going to break you down. But even then, you have a chance. Like, even if you got drunk and made a mistake the first time, even then, you still have a chance to get the help you need. But to keep on doing it anyway, of course you're going to end up like a vegetable. Well, you can't even take, now they got to take you up out of there. You can't even take care of yourself. So all of this is real. And that's why I try to tell people, bubblegum astrology is not your friend. Bubblegum astrology is just like somebody saying, here, I know life is rough. Sniff this line. Sniff this line of cocaine and you'll see. And you sniff the line of cocaine and now everything feels great. You feel high and happy and all that shit. But it's not going to last. Because as soon as that high come back down, reality is going to hit, but it's going to be worse because now you out of money. Now maybe you made some mistakes to get some more money, and it's not going to get better. Plus, it's fucking your health up. Only way it's going to get better is when you can stand up like an adult and begin to go through it. Begin to put the blame where it belongs. Get the healing you need and move forward. And one thing we all do, no matter how bad life is, there is always hope. Sometimes, as soon as something doesn't go the way we want it to, we become hopeless. But there's always hope. And like people get mad when you say that, but the fact of the matter is, life is gonna go on, and you can meet somebody and have a maybe not as wonderful as the one that just died, but you can move on if you want to. So all that crying, woe is me, I'll never find nobody. Oh, why did God take so and so, and all this other stuff? That's really what I call inconducive to living. You're choosing to be negative. You're choosing to want to tap out. You're choosing to want to be hopeless. And if that's what you're choosing, then of course you're not going to do anything to receive anything else. Because even if something good came your way, you still be, oh, so and so's going, I'm not ready. Oh, so you're choosing to be in that state of mind. So they say you have to get a grip on that so that you're not following feelings that are self-destructive. They say do whatever you have to keep your head. All right, so that was interesting. Now, Leo, Cancer in the fifth house. That's again another very unique placement because the fifth house is about fun and children, pleasure. So somebody might say, well, this is a family that has fun together. Cancer in the fifth house. But the rest of the chart don't say that. And because Gemini is in the third house, which kind of imply, like I said, some type of immaturity. To me, that's more in line of Cancer. And like this could be the mother who, the parent, the mother who was just kind of immature. And then some people say, well, how come she was a better friend or a better mother to my sisters and not me, or my brother, my sibling, my brother, or whoever, not me? But again, I'm gonna try to tell you guys something. Everything happens for a reason. So like I've heard, like I don't know if you know who Joyce Myers is, but she's one of the biggest televangelists right now, Dr. Joyce Myers, and she was molested by her own father, and brutal, not just molest, he like savage, like even brutal stuff, and she had to save him. When she became an adult woman, she had to go back to her father and try to get him to repent, so he wouldn't be burning in hell. Now I'm only saying what Dr. Joyce Myers said. That's what she said. But he did repent, and she forgave him. But she was trying to say that if it wasn't for what she was put through, she wouldn't have went on to become a worldwide evangelizer. So for me, I see how people love this world. But you were told by the Messiah, don't love this world. Because this world is only going one way. And whether you believe it or not, if you don't believe me, study science. But this world is going into the fire. So study some science. I mean, even scientific. I ain't even talking about religion. I'm not talking about spirituality. I'm not talking about, you're gonna die and go to hell. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking even scientifically speaking, this world is going into the fire. But people are so addicted to this world, like this life. They don't want to hear nothing about no form of ending. They don't want to hear nothing about no judgment. And even people that hate this world still are addicted to it. So if I see Cancer in the fifth house, based on what your chart is saying, I see whoever the rulership was, mom and dad, or mom or dad, but whoever the rulership was, they didn't do it with the parental authority that they should have. It was lacking. And then you see it again, Leo in the sixth house. Now, the sixth house is ruled by Virgo. This is the home. It's also health, healing, service, daily activities, small children, small animals, subordinates, or co-workers. Leo will always be about fun. Anywhere where Leo is, including the fifth house, is very high creativity. Because that's what it's kind of showing you. Somehow, what you went through, it made you a very creative person. And sometimes people do that because they use their mind more because they go into a fantasy world. Because they can't deal with the reality. So, Leo in the sixth house, it could be fun, like I said. Could have something to do with children. And this is the home, the sixth house. But that asteroid looks like a hook. That's Kyrus, or the nurturer. And if you notice, it's at 16 degrees. See, when you see Kyrus, the nurturer asteroid, that's just like the moon in Cancer, because the moon in Cancer, that's the nurturer. So it's still implying the mother, and 16 degrees is Mars energy. Mars energy. And when you're dealing with Mars and Leo energy, that could be abuse. And again, when you got that good fortune, that circle with the X in it is called good fortune or part of fortune. That's 5 degrees, but like I said, that's either Taurus energy, which is the Hierophant, but it could also be like the fifth house, which is Leo energy. So let's take a look at part of fortune or good fortune. Give me a moment, please. Just a moment. Just BS is starting. I just gotta address this real quick. Because in part one, I told you Joseph, like Joseph would sit here to do a certain thing for God, but his family really didn't support it. And the Bible tells you that when Messiah told his family he was the Messiah, they didn't support it. They actually laughed in his face and began to taunt him. Like, why don't you stop talking to us about it? Why don't you go out and tell the people out there? We don't want to hear it. Just like it's like what your modern family would do, the same thing. Because that sounds like an episode of Roseanne or something. You know, you're trying to tell your family who you are, and they're just sitting there cracking jokes and whatever, telling you like that you're not who you say you are or whatever. All right, just give me a minute. I gotta do this again. I just have to find it. Where is it? It should be. It should be a part of fortune. No. Let's try good fortune. I don't know why part of fortune ain't coming up. It's not even here. Just give me a moment. All right, I'm gonna see if I have it on another location. Let me just look around. I don't know. Oh. All right. Let's do part of fortune and Leo. It's like every attempt I'm making to find this, and I'm trying to be good. I'm trying not to complain, but I'm getting ready to go off. All right. Because first the main sheet, I don't know what if like stuff just in the come up disappearing. Like this stuff happens regularly. And I have every other part of fortune but the one I want. Not on this drive and not on the drive where I save everything. And I'm very meticulous about saving stuff, so I know I did it. But so is life. Alright. So yeah, Leo again is about creative energies, and this is like the home, but it could be a literal home where a family resides, but it could also be like a home business. It just depends. But either way, it's very creative. So Leo in a home or in the sixth house is somebody who wants they really want the attention. They want the recognition. But again, the implication is with that nurturer at 16 degrees, which is Mars energy. So you definitely had a part of fortune blessing, but it looks like it was kind of like pushed on you, because you see your 5 degrees. You got that 5 degrees at EP as well, and EP is the east point, and that's the ego of the sun, and you got 45 in the sixth house as well. So the implication is it was more or less pushed on you, like you were expected to be that way in the sixth house. But look now, look at your Virgo, house number 7, but Mars is right there again. But the universe is blessing you with fortune because of it. Because part of fortune can mean fortune, that good fortune, that circle with the X in it. And then your Mars at 10 degrees is there. And see that 5 degrees that keeps showing up, I really believe that was some energy that was bad. It's almost like this chart is trying to tell you that if your mother was a little tougher on you or whatever case might have been, it's because inside of herself she believed it was like love. Like she believed it was the best thing for you. And I'm gonna tell everybody there is a mystical thing with parents that y'all ain't gonna understand. But like me, I've been doing this for a long time. I just told you, Dr. Joyce Meyer said, she would have never became who she was if it wasn't for that. She's not saying she happy it happened, but she understands it. There's a mystical reason for everything. But sometimes, like I said, when you're dealing with more emotional type people, they're just gonna focus on the lesser vibration. Oh, why was my so and so this? And this is why in your Bible, Joseph had to forgive the very same brothers that tried to kill him. And that's basically how the story more or less ended, because he understood it was a higher purpose. God was just using that situation. So yeah, now this is what I believe. Your seventh house is a lot of your mom. Because you keep seeing that 5 degrees was following. And that 5 degrees could be mom, could be dad. I don't know. But see, in cases like that, even if dad wasn't around too much, mom is being dad and mom. But you see it. Might be both parents. Who the heck knows? But the funny thing is, this is your seventh house. So this should be about your business partners or a person you're in a relationship with. But you still see that same energy that's been going throughout your chart through Virgo. So I don't know. Like I said, that's like a sort of like a mystery because I'm going by the rest of your chart. So your Virgo in the seventh, the implication is that even though the seventh house is supposed to be about your relationship, but somehow you're still connected to the home. But this seems to be the home you were actually born into. And so looking at it, it's almost like saying it could almost be a mistake to have still have your relationship with the person you're trying to be married to or whatever in the home that you were born out of, because it's not going to work, because you could see why the mother's trying to dominate everything if that's the case. So Venus is usually all about love and culture and class and fun and dancing. It could be about finances. uh Mars is all about intensity, but you keep seeing Mars energy like 16 degrees. So it's intensity. And the intensity always seems to imply that the mother is too much into trying to control your situation. But if that Virgo means you're still in her home, then you can see why. Because of course it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. Because she's not gonna let like another man come in her house and he's trying to walk around like he's a man, and she's like, you ain't no man, you're in my house and I'm gonna protect my daughter, and I'm gonna treat you like shit because you're trying to marry my daughter or whatever. But you're in my, like I said, more that whole Roseanne the TV show. So that Venus Mars could be her love for her man, and then you keep seeing that 5 degrees, which like I said could be his energy, which is either Taurus or Leo. But then that Mars is pretty much, I think, mom. But even in at 10 degrees, that's still Jupiter energy. And Jupiter does rule Sagittarius. Because that's where your Chiron is hurt. Your Chiron is retrograde. It's hurt that won't heal. And then you see it again, 14 degrees. And you see it. See the 14, and it's still 39. And that 39 is all on your chart. It's almost, in my opinion, that 39 is there to make it hard for you. But whoever designed your chart knew that to make it hard for you would put you where you need to be. Because remember, like that Virgo means service. Your sixth house means service, and your seventh house where Virgo means service. But it's almost like you had to be put through what you were put through, so that you'll be where the universe wants you to be as far as service is concerned. The vertex cross is a significant event, fate, destiny, a significant breakup. It could either be twin flames or soulmates. Twin flames, same soul, different bodies. Soulmates, somebody you were in some type of soul connection with at some point in your life. Now your sun sign is Libra. Now you really have to get familiar with your 8th house. Your 8th house is very watery, but it's a lot of stuff going on in that 8th house. Now you got a free report. If I didn't mention that, anybody that requests it has a free report. But on your free report, you have to study your 8th house because it's a lot of stuff there, and there's so much stuff there, and it's all various that it wouldn't really make sense to read all of it because nobody's going to fit all of that. But it is available for you to read. But either way you look at it, even though your 8th house looks pretty good, the fact of the matter is the 8th house is about very watery, very emotional, and it's still hiding repression is still there. So this Libra, this could be a relationship that breaks up, makes back up, because the 8th house is about death and rebirth, or it could be power struggles. Trying to see who's gonna whatever. But if your 7th house does mean that you guys are trying to do all this out of your mother's house, of course it's gonna be all kind of emotional and power struggles and stuff. Now number 3, your son. But now Libra is somewhat of an idealist. See, this is a thinking person, but Libra is a mental sign, believe it or not. But you're there with Mercury, and this is why. And even your sun sign is number 3, which could be Gemini energy, but it could also be the Empress, which is Venus energy. But so this is a person who will think as well. They'll communicate, but they'll also think. But you're not going to get past the fact like it's going to be intense, and your 6th house is going to help it be intense. So even if you didn't want to argue or whatever, that Mars there is going to be really making it intense. But it does appear like you're willing to talk about it. But there is going to be and Libra can be very idealistic, but unfortunately the world is realistic. So that's why I said Libra. When Libra doesn't get what they think is the right thing to do, the fairest thing to do, and say the person doesn't agree, like that'll make Libra kind of like pull away. And if they don't communicate or work it out, then Libra, like I said, Libra, at first Libra will be like, oh, I got a man in my life and this is my man and blah blah blah, my man, and she all happy and stuff. But the moment reality comes in, like she might say, okay, as a Libra, I want to do this because I think this is the fairest way to go and the best way for both of us. And but he may not agree, and she may not like it, or she may still try to keep on talking about it, even though he told her he don't agree or he don't want to do it. So he finally kind of gets a little curt with her, but she don't like that. So what a Libra tends to do, they repressive. Instead of talking about it, they just begin to maybe they're a little bit more sociable at work with the guys now. Whereas before she was like not doing that. Like she's like, I got a man, I'm happy. I don't need to be talking to these guys I work with. If it's not business related, I don't need to be getting off friendly with them. But now that the guy she's in a relationship with kind of pissed her off a little bit, so she goes repressive. And now maybe when she goes to work, she's a little bit more communicative and maybe smiling a lot more or whatever, kind of sending out like subliminal messages and shit. So that could be a problem. And her Juno, that's somebody you're gonna be in a serious relationship with, either Scorpio energy, a Gemini energy, or a Libra energy. And 27 is a diplomatic number. So the house is very good for diplomacy. Mercury's gonna want to talk. Juno's very diplomatic, but based on the chart itself, I still say it's gonna be power struggles and stuff like that. And the force that's in his home in the seventh house is definitely going to be an instigating force. So I would strongly suggest in a case like this that you try not to be anywhere near your home, the home that you were born into or came out of. You shouldn't mix it with the relationship that you're trying to be in as well. They should be two different locations. Now, 7 degrees, Mercury, that is the Cancer card. But that's family and all that. 7 degrees, 1 minute, that one is like called Mercury. So it looks like you'll have a really good because that's a Gemini. He works he all he has to do is talk and things. He's a magician. So that's the 1 degree is the well, that's not a 1 degree, that's a 1 minute. But either way, the number one card, tarot card, is a magician. So he could speak things into reality with it's almost like magic. So you got that gift in the eighth house. And number three is saying that you're very creative. Now the ninth house, Scorpio in the ninth house again. You got a lot of karma there, and it even says the return. So when you're ninth house, you got Pluto lessons and Saturnian lessons or Saturnian karma. Now, you see number 28 again, but you have to be very careful. Now, they say when you see Vesta conjunct Saturn, that's a person that'll do anything to get what they want. And now, remember, Scorpio rules the eighth house, but Scorpio is all about power struggles, all kind of sexual stuff, death from rebirth, debt and taxes, creepy crawlies, higher sciences. That's why you have to read that report, free report. Sex, other people's money. But this is the house of higher law. Your ninth house is Sagittarius energy, and it deals with in-laws, culture, class, philosophy, religion, higher courts, higher law. So interesting, this seems to be another one of your creative houses. You got that number 3 again. But if you got Pluto and Scorpio, you're probably in that house, you're going to see some death and rebirth. But it's going to be a lot of mysteries there. But it's also the return. It's 24 degrees is the return. But that's why I said that's like Saturnian karma. It's very karmic. So whether this is past life stuff or whatever, but in that ninth house, and you saw on your chart the number 14, and that is Sagittarius energy. That's the temperance card, which means inner transformation. So through this relationship and the Scorpio energy and its eighth house, you are going to be changing internally, which is also on your natal chart. But it's also karmic. Now the sad thing is this, and also you got 28 degrees and number 13. Well, number 13 is is the death card. Again, that's Scorpio energy too. So that's why I said in this ninth house you're going to be doing death and rebirth. And it's Scorpio energy. So when you go to your eighth house that's ruled by Scorpio, there you have it, Libra. So this is still relationships. So it's karmic, And that's how like twin flame relationships are. Even some soulmate is karmic. You've lived before, past lives. Whenever you see anything like the 8th house, Pluto, Scorpio, even like the moon and all that, that could be past life. 12th house, past lives, could all be there. Excuse me. So, and the number 29 is also 20 anaretic or karmic as well. But see, this is in the 9th house of like higher law. Like this could be federal or even higher. Because remember, the 9th house can also be long distance, foreign countries. Or it could just be universal law, like I was telling you. Like this is where they say, "Oh, justice." I see the justice card. So you're probably in some type of, you're probably going to court right now and blah blah blah. But they don't realize that it's not always just legal. It's not just the justice card illegal. It could be, like I said, it's about relationships, or it could be like your karmic law. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Where when I work with my twin flame, a lot of stuff was going on, but they threw a meeting one time, and this meeting came out of nowhere, and things was getting really anxiety between me and her. And like I said, I'm at a different, like I don't play all them games and stuff. I'm not with all that game playing stuff. Never been. And so my twin, she's more Scorpio-ish, Mars-ish, Aries. She liked the drama. Like she loved the drama. But that's why she's where she's at now in life. You know, those type of people play so much that they play themselves out. Like the man she was with, sleeping around with or whatever, and got all them kids with, they not even together no more. And it's just crazy stuff. But that's what happens when you keep playing, 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 playing. That's why I saw you walking in the rain. That's what he said. You played yourself out. I remember he said that. So all that's going down. So in your 9th house, like your 12th house is a house of reckoning too. But you got a lot of reckoning going down. But what I was trying to say, so out of nowhere came this meeting, because I had basically came home that night and I was just upset. I was so upset with her, I was actually yelling, literally yelling at God, like saying, "You better do something about this," because because I was about to go back to how I used to be, because I don't play no games. Don't come that way with me, because that will run up on you. Not necessarily in a bad way, but I definitely would have told her ass off. So I was trying my best to keep on my journey, letting all the past ways go and all that stuff. But that girl, that female, just kept pushing it. Kept pushing it. So I was yelling. I came home one day, I was literally yelling, like, "You better do something, blah, blah, blah." So the very next day, out of nowhere, our job has this meeting. But see, this is what I'm trying to tell you. And if you notice, y'all are getting closer to the 10th house. Now, Saturn rules the 10th house. So what I'm trying to tell you, in your 9th house, there may be stuff going on planet Earth, but it's representing international law. I mean, like universal law, not international law, universal law. And the reason why you got to return to it, because it's karmic. Number 24 is a number of return, but number 29 is also a karmic number. If it was a degree, it would be an anaretic degree. So all this is going on in your 9th house of higher law, but this is universal law. So now, I'm in a meeting. The head of HR is there, human resources. That's a female. She's there, and my twin came, but she always came late. So when she got there, she came late. Now it was me, her in the room basically, and some other people in the room. But that lady of HR, the only people she would look at when she was talking was me and my twin, because I already knew that was a universal law. So even though it took place like at your job or whatever, that was the universe. Because I was telling the universe, if she keeps on calling me out like she's doing, she's gonna get told to fuck off, because I'm getting sick of her playing games. Because she was just on some other shit. That chick was like just out there. Like, anybody know about twin flames? That's like the most traumatic, emotionally, whatever, you name it. It's not a joke. So she would only look at me and her and all that. And then when I left the room, she was still talking to the female because my twin came late, so she was trying to catch her up on what she missed. And then when I had to walk past both of them, and then when I walked past her, I kind of looked at her a little bit, like to say stop fucking with me and shit. So but after that it wasn't as bad because she is out there, like she is like, every day she was effing with me, and she was like a master of mindfuck, like she was a queen of mindfuck. But I got a lot of relatives. That's how twin flames work. I got a lot of relatives in my family that they if they can get inside your head, they will destroy you and shit. So all this is going on in your ninth house. That's why I'm telling you that. And you see, this is universal law. In Saturn's there is karmic. And number 28, like I told you, is extreme. But the warning I have to give you is, like some people say, whenever you see Vesta, that asteroid is Vesta, that's next to Saturn. Whenever you see Vesta conjunct Saturn, that's a person that will do anything to get what they want. But I can tell you from experience, a lot of times whenever you see Vesta conjunct Saturn, or Vesta in your 10th house, ruled by Saturn, who rules Capricorn, this is abuse. This is a possibly abusive situation, and Vesta's trying to protect you. And you see it throughout your chart, all these Marses and 16 degrees. It could be abusive. And it's all in your relationship sectors and all that. Home sectors. So it's possible abuse that Vesta's going to try to protect you from. But I don't get it with you females, but that's why men are men and females are females. Because ain't nobody putting their hands on me. Ain't nobody going to talk to me a certain way. I don't care. The stuff y'all don't put up with and the stuff y'all do put up with, it just don't make no sense to me. Because ain't nobody. Touch me one time, nigga, that's it. Because this is what's going to happen. I'm going to try to file that report with the cops. And if they don't deal with you, then I'm going to find a way to take your life. And my defense will be, we went to the police and they ain't do shit. So whatever time I get or whatever happens, it won't be as long. I will have my defense ready. But ain't nowhere in the world somebody put their hands on me. But that's just me. So I got sisters, the same thing, because they was all in, like I said, y'all women and all that vanity stuff. So they think it's cool. They think arguing and all that crazy stuff that y'all do, crazy. And then the guy beating your ass and shit, then I got to run down there and be Superman. And some of these dudes I had to like fight was like double the size of me. And then I got sick of it because again, I didn't come here for this low level stuff. So I had to tell them that's enough. If you choose to be with a man that beats you up, don't call thinking I'm gonna come fight for you, because I'm not gonna fight for you. Plus, this is what I would do. I would have to throw these guys out. And guess what? The very next day, the same guy would be in the house with his arm around the same sister he beat up the day before. So I thought she was a dumbass. And then, first off, this isn't your house. Like, this is your mother's house. And you're letting this guy disrespect you, me, your mother, the house. So that's why I said, I'm not coming down no more. If I hear anybody, if he's whipping your ass, you better learn how to fight or take that ass whipping. But that's when it stopped, because the show was over. So that's when it stopped. So Vesta's there to do the same for you. So you had a guardian angel in house number 12, Jupiter, but then you also have Vesta, because Vesta hates abusive men. So whenever you see that 28 degrees on your chart, it could be talking about him or your situation with him. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. So to benefit your 9th house and your 8th house, you really have to understand what's in the 8th house, because that's ruled by Scorpio and Pluto. But your 9th house will be about death and rebirth and transformations. And it's also going to be karmic. So stuff will be coming out of nowhere to slow you down. That Saturn give you some type of karma one way or another, or to take you through some type of death, sexual, or great transformative situation. That will be Scorpio and Pluto. And even where your Pluto's at, you see that 28, but it's minutes, not degrees. But that's what 28 means, overbalance. And that's usually how any form of abuse is overbalanced, because that's somebody who can't control their emotions or their conduct, their hands or whatever. Now your 10th house, which is your career house, has Sagittarius in it. Now remember, Sagittarius rules the 9th house. I believe I said a long distance, foreign language, higher courts, higher laws, philosophy, religion, culture. But and it could also be spirituality or your belief system. So your career will have something to do with that. Maybe a teacher, who knows. And once again, you see 14 degrees, which is the temperance card or Sagittarius energy. And it's Uranus, which means it comes out of nowhere. Now your medium coeli, MC, really your medium coeli works with your true north node. So you have a connection between your 3rd house and your 10th house. And that's why your money is in your 3rd house. But your 3rd house and your 10th house is a little bit like your 9th house, because Sagittarius is in your 10th house. And your 9th house, which is also about publishing, but at a more mature level, opposes your 3rd house, which is about publishing, but it's a little a less mature level. And sometimes Sagittarius or your 9th house could mean like a relationship when it's a little bit more mature, or it could be like a second marriage. But see, Gemini represents the initial stages, the arguments, the breakups, the immaturity. Whereas Sagittarius around the 9th house or 10th house is going to represent you're a little older now. Now you're more interested in let's not break up again, or let's try to work through this. And again, that's why you have that 9 degrees though, because you've learned from experience. Just like where your true north node is. Notice how your true north node, both of your houses that deal with publishing, Gemini, and the 3rd house ruled by Gemini is publishing, but at a lesser mature stage. But then your 9th house ruled by Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is in your 10th house, but it's still your 9th house because that's Sagittarius. You got 9 degrees again. So this is a person who's learned, and that they can help others. Like I said, anybody that's out here that's really telling you the truth and not talking about what the Matrix tells you, which is a bunch of bullshit. That's the number 9, because these people have learned to go through their experience in life. So that's like a person who is going to go by what they know to be true. They're not going to just go by what the Matrix says. But that 9 is still with Mars energy, because Mars is going to shake you up. So even in your 7th house might be implying that you kind of let this guy bully you because it started in the home, like under your mother's regime. Because there's a reason why your chart is just real unique. Like it's telling a story, but that's why I say you got to deal with experts. Because otherwise somebody go, oh, Gemini in the 4th house. Well, that just means your family talks a lot or something. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. You got to know how to read the chart. And that's how your chart was written. Even the numbers are telling you more. Because even like the minutes don't necessarily have to tell a story, but yours do. It's the degrees you normally look at, not the minutes, not necessarily the minutes. So I want to do 2 things. Just give me a moment. They're talking about Jersey Shore. It's a New Jersey town debating whether they're going to let Jersey Shore film there. I thought they were done with Jersey Shore. Looks like they're coming back. It's called Yeah Buddy. Talking about Jersey Shore family vacation film there. All right. All right, here we go again. Astro Codex. We just want to get the essential of Uranus in the 10th house. So they're talking about career choices because it is your 10th house, which is your career house. Oh, good. It doesn't look like he gave you a. Because normally this guy writes, like he almost writes a book. He literally just goes on and goes on and goes on. So Uranus in the 10th house may make a person very picky about what they do for a living. So this person may actually create their own type of work. Because remember, Uranus, that's what Uranus means, coming out of nowhere. That's why if you see like any type of number 1 on your chart, that's a magician, and he creates stuff out of nowhere. And even that's Gemini energy. Because this is a person that could say stuff that people just believe, or they're just very creative. Like all you gotta do, just think about Saturday Night Live. Think about how many people went into Lorne Michaels' office with an idea and he liked it, and then they had a movie or something. So that's that magician energy. So this person does not want to work in the orthodox type of careers. They don't want routine. But remember, Sagittarius is usually like a master teacher. So remember, they say Uranus is things that happen suddenly, things that are not normal. It could be technology, it could be internet jobs. But that's what you see in your 12th house, because Aquarius could very well be either like a technology type situation or the internet. And again, they say this person doesn't like authority, but why don't they like authority? Well, just look at their 9th house, probably their 7th house, because if this is true, they already had issues at home. Probably looks like it was with the mom, and then even in relationships, they continue to have issues. So they really don't want to work for somebody telling them what to do. So again, Uranus in the 10th house could be a freelance career, self-employed. And one thing about Sagittarius and Aquarius, they want their freedom. Gemini too. Gemini wants his freedom too, but I think Aquarius and Sagittarius probably want it even more. So they're saying that Uranus in the 10th house, if you do have a boss, you're going to rebel against that boss at some point. And they say it might lead to you quitting in an unpredictable manner, but I'm saying it might not be quitting. Your ass might get fired. That Uranus might jump up and you talking crazy. And that man got to tell you, like Andre Farrell had to tell Puffy. All right, so you think you can talk to me like you the boss now? I think it's time for you to pack up and get the heck up out of here. And that's how Bad Boy Records started. Puffy was unemployed. He said he got a phone call from somebody like, okay, well, we're gonna help you set up your own label now. But they say when it comes to these decisions, and we're primarily talking about career, they might be hasty in making these decisions. He said this type of person will quit the exact moment the idea appears in their head. I don't gotta take this crap. I can be a rock and roller. Hey boss, I quit. But the very next line, this is what he wrote. Say this person will quit on the spot. As soon as the idea comes in their head, they'll quit. He said, but the very next line was, an inversely aspected Uranus can lead to long periods of unemployment, which means long periods of having no cash or quick small jobs, as the native has a deeply buried repulsion towards applying for interviews. Damn, this person sounds a lot like me. But I don't have a Uranus in the 10th house. But I'm definitely Uranus. Y'all can tell by the way I talk. I'm Uranus all the way. But they say this person can also get sudden genius insights. But that's why I'm telling you, keep that notebook pad with you. Wherever you are, have some type of notebook with you. They say this person can literally invent their own career. See, that's the magician. Even if it's not connected with electronics or technology. Uranus can make an idea suddenly appear in their mind. This is why I be telling people you need to really take astrology seriously, because those planets are helping you. Now I just found Veronica like 2 nights ago, right before the full moon. But God gives you what you need when you need it. Because that's the person that's really speaking like stuff that I know to be true, like universal stuff. Like we're all one and stuff like that. It's the same thing our ancestors knew. So they say this person might come up with an occupation that's pioneering, like nobody's done before. Unique or even weird. So Uranus can bring a lot of changes in the career direction, but that's why I'm telling you about death and rebirth. Death and rebirth. Pluto and Scorpio. And they say you'll find yourself working with other people just like you, or they're eccentric as well. Now they say the 10th house may rule the father. And they say the father may have been somewhat of a weird nature. Because remember I told you have a Sagittarius influence on your chart. That 14 degrees and stuff like that. So they said when this person was a child, they may have observed their father had a different approach towards work than the rest of the world. And so this child begins to reproduce that later in his life. They said the father may be an Aquarian or else how have Uranus prominently emphasized on his natal chart. He usually dislikes social climbing to authority positions, may be an altruist or revolutionary, and these traits inspire the young native, who will also not be he will be a nonconformist while choosing a career. So Uranus in the 10th house can bring sudden publicity. Because remember, your 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, it's ruled by Saturn, which is career and reputation. So they're saying because of some unique characteristics or actions, you may find yourself in publicity. They say you'll appear in the news, or you'll be known by the society for being an extreme paradigm. They say any information that's talking about you will be presented under the label, believe it or not. And this person may feel that other people make fun of them or mock them because they seem unique, or the people may say weird. But they're also saying that a scandal might come out. And a lot of people don't know the 10th house is usually a house about scandal, especially if Lilith is there in the 10th house. And this is why you need to always get your readings and keep them updated and regularly, because it said Uranus could cause his career to skyrocket that he would only dream of. But you have to remember that Uranus is unpredictable in the opposite way. Just like it could skyrocket in one way, it may go all the way down in another. But they said one thing is good about Uranus in the 10th house, because it's erratic and it can go either way. It really doesn't care. They said this person, they go to word Phoenix again. See, and I was just talking about the Phoenix in the video I just did this morning. This is how I keep telling you, everything is done. It's not like anything is accidental or coincidental. It's people that set all this shit up. I was just talking about the Phoenix in my video I did this morning. So this native with Uranus in the 10th house, this person will be sort of like the Phoenix. But I already told you that the same thing is in your 9th house. Remember, your 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, and then you have Sagittarius in your 10th house. So your 9th house and your 10th house are similar. And this is all about death and rebirth, which is what the Phoenix is about. So they're also saying the same thing I said. You still have to work on being focused, because so far the energy is like just going. You know, it's the energy of life, but not the energy of living. See, life is, oh, so and so needs help. Oh, I want to do. Oh, wow, I want to do this. Oh, that's life. But living is, wow, I got to get some finances and I got to pay my bills. Do I have any savings? That's living, because now you got to, you work. I work for a living. You got to be living makes you responsible, makes you mature. Just having life, you don't care. Cause like when you're just out there, life, as long as you make it through the day or whatever. Hey, well, I had a great time down at the beach. Yeah, we surfed all day. Oh, the water was wonderful. Oh, wow, the sand was so good on my feet. Well, John, what about your bills? Huh? But living, well, if that bill is not paid, you're getting your ass out of here. See, living is you better not be down at the beach so much, John. You better get a job down by the beach since you like the water so much, because on Friday I better get my money. You're out of here. You won't be living here, John. So that's why living is important, because living makes you mature, whereas life just makes you go with the flow. See, living is when you finally tell somebody. Like I had somebody trying to play me out recently. You think I'm going to stop everything I'm doing for that? Are you serious? And that's how you get people reality checks. Like when somebody calls you, hey, and they always say this, I don't want to bother you. Okay, then why are you calling me? Like, I don't want to bother you, but could you take me here or take me there and take me there? Like, first off, a car needs gas to take you anywhere. Second off, you got to be realistic. That's wear and tear. That's something people don't talk about. It's also wear and tear. Because when you take it back to the mechanic shop, you're paying for that wear and tear on whatever you did, the tire, the shocks. If you had to slam on the brakes, the brake cable. That's just facts. But that's the difference between life. Oh, yeah, let's go. You're a friend of mine. Oh, sure, I can help. And living. Oh, no, I'm not taking you nowhere. How much you got? Because if you call a cab, you're going to pay him. So what makes you think you ain't going to pay me? That's the difference between living and life. And they said some people with Uranus in the 10th house don't work at all because life has already provided them with money. And when you see like Sagittarius or Jupiter, that could be a fact. Now he talking about Uranus feels quite well in the realm of Capricorn and Saturn. That's the first time I heard that. Uranus is a rebel. Saturn wants you to be restricted and controlled. So I don't know how Uranus would feel quite well in the realm of Capricorn and Saturn if it's just there to piss him off. So Uranus in the 10th house is somebody that's altruist and they'll battle for the betterment of society. But that's a Libra anyway. A Libra is a very social sign. Uranus rules revolutionaries and anarchists. So this person may be very transformative, and we already know that when we looked at your 9th house as well. All right, that was interesting. $14 degrees. See, very karmic. See, that's why I'm telling you, all that is karmic. 29 on your 9th house and 10th house. Saturn really is in both of those houses because Saturn rules the 10th house as well. So those are two very karmic houses. This is all past life stuff, and it's karmic. And you're probably going to be sharing those experiences with your twin flame or twin soul. Twin flame, twin soul is the same thing. Same soul, different bodies. All right, 11th house is friends, association, groups. Now, why is Capricorn there? Because like I said, pretty much that's going to be your business. You'll be making money off of friends, association, groups. Could be like using the internet to make money or whatever. Because Aquarius rules the 11th house. And at 0 degrees, that's again, it's still Uranus energy. 0 degrees is the Fool card. It's Uranus energy. So at the end, like I said, it's trying to make a business out of the 11th house friends association groups. And you're coming in with a full or fresh way of doing it. And does it pay off? Well, you see Jupiter right there with in the 12th house. So we're not going to spend. We already spent. We spent a lot of time in your 12th and explained it. So we're not going to go back in there again. over too much of this. But a lot of stuff I covered when I went around your chart, you would be working on that in the 12th house. Because the 12th house, you're supposed to reckon with everything. No matter how painful it is, no matter how hard it is, you're supposed to use this 12th house to reckon with it. And yeah, helping others can sometimes help you with healing as well too. But it is a lot of healing, and like I said, sometimes it is forgiveness, and I did talk about all that stuff. So again, 7 degrees is the mother. The Cancer energy is called the Chariot card, and 11 would be either the Strength card, which is Leo energy, or it is a Justice card, which is Libra energy. And when you look where your Libra is, you see 7 again, but it's 7 and 1, and this is 7-11. So that 7 may have a connection to your mother, because that would be Cancer energy. All right. Now we're going to just do some of the numerology that I haven't already discussed. I'm going to pause this when I come back, we'll do the numerology. Oh, another thing, when I say they, the people to put all this together. Another reason why Gemini is in your fourth house is because they want you to know, because you appear to have a gift of creativity. That's why you see a lot of 3s on your chart. That's the Empress card. The Empress card is about creativity. So, in other words, you could pitch ideas and people will immediately want to be a part of it. And again, I told you, Taurus is a very magnetic sign, and your Taurus is in your communications house, number 3. So, a lot of times people, because you're mad. Maybe, like I said, it could have been a situation where maybe you felt like you would have, who was that? Snow White of the family got treated like whoever it was, Cinderella. You felt like you were Cinderella, the stepchild or whatever. And but the universe is showing you that is that Gemini energy, that ability to be able to convince people your ideas and things going on inside. You're able to talk to somebody and they immediately want to support you and back you up. So that definitely came out of your fourth house of family. Because that's why I said 2 wrongs don't make a right. And sometimes we just want to think about the wrong people doing, not the good they do as well. Alrighty. So now we're going to begin to get into the numerology of certain of these numbers. All right, we'll do the number 7-11. Just give me a moment. I'm just, as you can say, looking around. I'm just going to a few locations and typing in the 7-Eleven just to see what happens. Alright. In Gematria and Bill Hydric Gematria, to turn the face towards. To turn the face towards. And when I think of that, plus this is in your 12th house. To turn the face towards is almost, to me, saying favor. Alright. And then we'll go to Sacred Scribes and your number. Alright, 7-Eleven. Seven-Eleven is a special message from the angels in the spiritual realm. Pay special attention to your thoughts and ideas as they are revealing the answers to your prayers and give you intuitive guidance in regards to the next steps on your divine life path. Remember, this is in the 12th house of your subconscious mind, your dreams. So make sure you're paying special attention in these areas. All right. Angel number 711 is a powerful spiritual message from the angelic and spirit realm. Pay closest pay special attention to your thoughts and ideas as they are revealing the answers to your prayers. So you'll be hearing the next steps to your divine life plan. So angel number 711 might be telling you that new information or news of positive nature is on its way. Listen to your intuition, heed its guidance. You may be having new opportunities for you to put your natural psychic and spiritual abilities to good use. All right. So there might be new opportunities for you to put your natural psychic and spiritual abilities to good use. To those who need it, that's 711. And remember, this is the house of service, the spiritual house of service. This is house number 12. And that's where this 711 is. Believe in yourself, your intuition, your intuitive messages, and your inner promptings. And trust that your angels support you in your spiritual pursuits and endeavors. Okay, so angel number 711 brings the message that you're doing a great job. You're on the right life path. You're encouraged to continue along as you are. Angel number 711 saying that you have chosen your thoughts well and have made wise choices and decisions. You're reminded also that the emotion of gratitude will speed the process of your manifestation. So the more you're grateful, the more the universe will bless you. And it's funny they should say that because this is right where Jupiter is. So keep your prayers, visualization, and positive affirmations. Keep everything positive. That's the 711. And that's also where your money's at. All right, number 45. So the angels are telling you to put your efforts into the things in life that embrace who you really are. Your lifestyle choices and life in general. So know that your angels are working closely. Your angels are working closely with you as you experience these life changes that are coming your way. All right. Listen to your intuition and angelic guidance. Let's do 939. All right. 939. All right. 939. So 939 angel number is telling you to let go of any situations in your life that are no longer serving a positive purpose. All right. So anything that's not positive in your life, they're telling you to let it go. That's angel number 939. Now listen to this. Push aside limiting beliefs that hold you back in any way and take control of what you wish to make for your life. Because a lot of people, they let their, like Veronica said, her sister, her oldest sister, went to tell her husband, I have cancer. He responded, good, I hope you die soon because we can use your insurance and I can raise my son, meaning her son, raise my son with my girlfriend. So he told her to her face, yeah, I do got a girlfriend. I'm glad you're getting ready to die and blah, blah, blah. So you don't need that type. You don't need to be around that type of. That's just crazy. So that's the true north node. You gotta know how to like I'm not saying people. Some people you ain't got to cut off totally, but you don't have to be around family all the time, especially if they bring a lot of drama. All right. And they said don't have fear. Don't claim the situations out of fear. Give any fears you have to the angels. All right. Okay, so now we're just gonna do number 39 by itself. Mm. 39 is a very creative number, and again, it's for helping humankind, helping mankind. So again, 39 is for creativity, benefiting large groups. Solving problems that are experienced by the Earth's population. All right. 39 is sociable, optimistic, tolerant, inspiring. All right. Number 44 is pretty much just a master number, a master builder. All right, so that's pretty much what it is. So let's do 549, which is Venus. All right. 549 with Venus. All right. So angel number 549 indicates that you have been receiving intuitive and angelic guidances about your life purpose. They're telling you to listen to these advisories. The angels are trying to help you with your life purpose. So they're telling you changes are coming with that. Angel number 549, they said trust the changes. All right. So that will do it. Keep in mind we do have sales going on. Check that on the channel. You can look in the description box. You can also request the most recent services priceless offered. God bless.